Yeah, well, I think Higher Than Heaven, it really is like the opposite to me of Brighter Sphere. Brighter Sphere was an album that I wrote over a couple of years, actually living here in New York. I'd gotten to be in a space where I could reflect on everything that happened over the past 10 years. You know, I've been touring for a long time and hadn't really taken stock of everything. And it was a deeply like personal album to me. And then just as I released it, you know, lockdown kind of came into action in the UK, and you know, there was a global pandemic, and our lives all stopped in their tracks, and I then had to start kind of performing the songs from my bathroom and trying to promote them from, you know, working on Zoom for the first time. So it was just a very new, strange experience, kind of breathing life into the music, or trying to, and you know, because it was an album that was so personal to me. It was a strange kind of thing to be confronted with, like not being able to tour it. So I think when I then got back in the studio to write with a couple of friends to write Higher Than Heaven, it ended up just being complete opposite. And I wanted to write lyrics that didn't require any analysis or kind of you know, taking apart, and just wanted to write straight up pop records that still, you know, have my kind of a bit of my lyrical style and my sort of taste for electronic music, very specific taste. It was really refreshing to just go in and write for fun and not really overthink it. Well, the songs kind of came first, and then when a song starts to happen, like something like A Saviour, you know, the lyrics kind of come much more naturally. When the songs are so assured and like their style and, you know, their like direction, like just as like a pop record, the lyrics come quite, I don't know, not easily, but like you just sort of know, you know, lyrics stands out if it's not right, you know. Most of the songs we hear on the radio have come, you know, have been pushed to the top out of like, I don't know, thousands of songs that never made it because something wasn't right. So, you know, I've been studying pop music since I was a kid. You know, it was my favorite hobby to listen to the radio and to really listen to songs. And I'd noticed like weird, teeny tiny details in songs that none of my friends would have ever noticed. And so that's always been something that I've enjoyed. And this album, I really got to explore that in a big way, and it was really fun. It feels amazing. It feels like a really, really, really incredible achievement. And it's nice now to really be able to take that in. You know, at one point I was just like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. And now I can really like, you know, appreciate it. I've got so many songs that I haven't released. I'm tempted to just do an album that's just like all my unreleased songs. Because why not? I feel like if one of those songs like reaches a few people and really affects people in a positive way, I don't see why not. Like, I don't know what my label will say about that, but I have these songs. I don't think they're going to go to anyone else. I don't think they're going to end up being another artist's songs. So, yeah, they're just sitting around in my computer. So, yeah, maybe I should. It still comes to me in the same way, but I think I probably matured a bit as a songwriter. You know, lyrics were kind of all over the place back then. But you know, as you go along and you write with lots of people, and you write with people who are genuinely writing the biggest songs of all time, you know, you pick up a lot along the way. It's all learning experience and process. And so I feel like, you know, I've grown myself as a writer, but then I've also like picked up a lot from others, like little, I don't know, I picked up something different from everyone, and everyone writes in a different way. And it's really nice to be in a place actually with writers that they do the same thing as you. So if you come up with like a weird lyric or a bad lyric, something a bit random, no one's going to judge you or like be like, that was a weird lyric. And sometimes the most simple, basic, obvious lyric is the right lyric. So just, it's kind of has to, I don't know, all has to come together with like the music and the moment. I find it so exciting to hear a song or an album, find out who produced it, and then go and find them and hope that they want to work with me back. And sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. And I think that the people that get back to me are the people that see me and get what I do and like my voice, and it ends up being really successful, you know. And those who don't are it's just not meant to be. Oh yeah, God, so much. I'm really picky about how things sound, but like in a good way. And then the mixes, can make something sound just like madly different. Sometimes that someone will just like reproduce the song almost, just sort of like just do their own thing, and then you kind of like got to take it back to how it was. A lot of it is just like reducing and like going back to what it was in the first place. But you know when you know instinctively when it's right. I think my voice is always the thing that separates it from everything else, and my voice is a result of stuff that I went through in my childhood, my shyness as a kid, my very vast range of influences to a unique childhood, a unique teenage years, and so I think my voice has captured all of that. It's not. I think that's why I don't sound like anyone else. I just really, everything has gone into my voice. And I wanted to act when I was a kid, and I didn't end up doing that because I was far too shy and self-conscious, and so it all kind of ended up kind of manifesting through my voice. But no, it's not. I don't think there's anything really that deep to it, unless there's something I'm missing, in which case, great. I'll something I'm doing without realizing. But yeah. Lately, I've been so focused on being a mum that I sometimes don't even have time. Like, by the time that he goes to bed, then I've got the evening, and then I just need to take that time to actually just relax. So the last thing I want to do is like sit down and write and put pen to paper or whatever. So I just make sure that I'm always reading, always watching things. I'm always like reading poems, and so I'm making sure that my brain is always switched on, so that when I do get in the studio, like there's something there. But I definitely don't write at home as much as I used to. I don't know, they come really randomly. I might wake up in the night and think of something, or something might happen that makes me, that, I don't know, affects me in some way, makes me angry, makes me sad, makes me happy, and I'll just write it down. There are just those kind of magic moments, for whatever reason, just everything stars align, I don't know. I like how surprising music is on like TikTok, the popular music on TikTok, and things that are coming through now that I, probably 10 years ago would never have reached the surface. It's really interesting how things are getting given a new lease of life, and things are suddenly appealing to people that I don't think would have appealed to people a long time ago. It's just interesting now that like people are combining music with like a video or a scene or like a moment, and it seems to be just giving songs a new meaning. And it is a new world that like musicians now have to navigate, where songs are either just like straight up like good songs, like straight to the radio, straight on people's radar, and then others are like slow burners, and others just like end up building on TikTok. And I'm trying to figure out the pattern between like, songs now that are just like kind of no-brainer songs, radio songs, and then songs that are kind of blowing up on TikTok and then become radio songs. It's like, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. You can have more freedom in that you can now post, you can show everyone the entire process of what you do. So you can post, if you want, you can post the studio session, you can post yourself writing a song, you can post like a demo of the song. Sam Smith and Kim Petras posted Unholy, and they posted a snippet from the studio, and it blew up from that, so just feels like there's freedom in that sense. Maybe less freedom in that you're almost like obliged to make TikToks and sort of keep it up. I think it is what you make of it. I think I get that some artists wouldn't be comfortable with just like constantly exposing them, like, putting themselves out there and taking away all mystery of what they do. But at the same time, it's like something as a musician that you just kind of adapt to. Like if you want to put your music out there and you don't want to just like release music and hope for the best and then get another job, it's a job, it's work. And I think people forget that. Like, I'm so lucky to do what I love, and it's a passion, but it is also my job, and so sometimes you can be realistic. You can still be artistic and realistic, I used to live next door to a famous like bass player in a band, like a British band, and I remember I came out one night and like, I think maybe it was during lockdown, like people were just sitting out in the Muse and we were all just sort of drinking and I remember like I ended up sort of spilling to him saying, you know, I was sad that my label were making me do this and that, and he was like, fuck it, man. Why do you even do it? Like, just don't do it. And I'm like, well, I feel like times have changed, you know? Like, they could just like make a song and it'd blow up and they go on tour and it, you just become instantly cool. Whereas it's just different now. And unfortunately, I wish I could just like make the music that I truly wanted, which might be like a 7-minute folk, I don't know. And when I can do that, I've got the freedom to do that, but I can't expect to do that forever necessarily. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've always had a fascination with pop music, which means you write songs with a formula somewhat, but you can put your own signature on it. And then I also I satisfy myself by doing I have a classical project I'm working on. I get to work with composers, I get to work with all sorts of musicians, I get to lend my voice to electronic tracks, you know, I've given my voice to like George Fitzgerald and Tourist and, you know, Skrillex and what used to work with Fred again. And, you know, so I get to indulge in all those things and that satisfies me and makes me feel like I'm doing what I love. And then my own stuff is just like another level of that where I get to sing and do what I love, but I make pop music, I make pop records, so. Always, no one ever bloody asked me, so I'm just kidding. Really? No, I think I'm just really shy, so I don't reach out to people that much. I just assume they're gonna be like, no. I feel like I depend a lot on fate and on destiny, and a lot of my collaborations have happened by chance, and maybe I rely on that a bit too much, but honestly, it's just a case of A, logistics, B, just me plucking up the courage to ask someone I want to work with. I just haven't tried, to be honest. Maybe that's my new thing. I imagine it will be on the slower side, just from stuff that's been happening the past year. And you know, maybe it'll be a bit about motherhood. Yeah, you know, I still think we're processing the pandemic and processing the fact that there's a war going on right now, in Europe, and processing climate change happening in front of our eyes. And so there are a lot of things to write about. And I think we can party for a bit with my album and then go back to reality and then deal with that. Well, we're trying to make the tour, carbon neutral. So renewables, power by renewables as much as possible, plastic free, trying not to travel by plane. It's tough, but we're trying to make it happen. And then all the merch will be either recycled materials or biodegradable materials. The packaging for the album, the packaging has already been done and it's biodegradable and recycled, and so it took a while to get there, but we got there. It made me realize that there were people being confronted with war every day, the potential of a missile hitting or, being invaded, all these awful things that happen in war. And it just amazed me how resilient people were. And faced with that, they were still carrying on their, daily lives. They were showing me, their museums, their art, their culture, and it is an incredible city. Yeah, it made me feel kind of, I don't know, just had a newfound respect for people, and it showed me just a human potential to to be so strong in something so awful. And I'm glad I got to go in person. It was not the easiest thing to do, but I'm glad I got to go there. Just fun, escape, dance, good songs. Hopefully you can listen to it from start to finish. And yeah, there's not really much more to it than that, but in the best possible way,